All right, now we're live. All right,
Now we're live.
interesting.
Look at
I've
that.
never used this software before, so I had like the like just a technology morning. It's like one of those like. So I don't this. I feel like this always happens. So I live in this building of 40 stories. I'm on the 27th floor, and like so often I get to the elevator bank, and I see the elevator. It says one on the little digital sign, meaning the
Uh-huh.
elevator's right here. And
Okay.
then by the time I have to go past, I don't know why do they build buildings where then they put and they have a bank of 5 elevators, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they put the button to call the elevator in the middle. Why aren't there buttons at both edges, right? You can get to this from one side, you can get to this from the other side. Why don't they put a button on each edge, on each side? Like, why do I have to go to the middle? And then I go to the middle, and then by the time I get that, push that button, it goes like 2, and like it's gone, right? It's like,
I missed
like
it.
2
It is going
seconds.
to be 40 stories up.
Right,
Yeah.
whatever, right? Like, and
Yeah.
so it's one of those mornings. So that happened, and then I have the StreamYard thing set up, and then I get all that stuff, and this always happens too. I take my laptop, I plug in this monitor, and then it dies, and then it reboots, and everything I have open in the browsers and all the copy and all the stuff that I had ready for this to just hit start was like gone. I was like, ah. And then type it in, and then it disappears again, and type it in. Oh, so anyway, now I have it saved.
That you're like a programming computer genius, and you have these problems too.
Right.
Very comforting.
Yeah, right. It's so cool that like we live in a time where you can like literally with like just typing stuff on a computer, you can like buy a flight ticket or like get all this stuff done. But like, how many times do you end up in a situation where you enter the same stuff like 5 times because there's some stupid bug on this website, right?
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, this would be so simple if it worked the first time, but it does.
Did what it was freaking supposed to do.
Yeah, and it's funny. One of the things too, where I don't realize like how good our software really is until I sometimes use other people's software. I'm like, how do you put shit out like that? Like, how is it this buggy? It's just insane. But yeah, people do that. I don't know why or how or like
Do that.
Yeah, different standards or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, you're right. And we got a NPS score this morning, NPS 10, and one of the things it said like this is the best software in the world or something like that.
Mhm.
From someone that has been around for, I don't know, 8 years or something. She's one of the OGs and has sometimes had, complaints and tickets, and we've worked with her and things, but she's so in love with the software because it works, right? Like once you get it set up the way you want it to do, she's like, I can rely on it. It works. It does exactly what I need it to do.
That's
And
amazing.
it's really nice. Yeah, it was great to get that feedback today.
That is so cool. Yeah. And there's a lot of like trust in that. I know there's like there's definitely some areas of the app that are like less, fantastic, right?
Right.
It's something that's really important to me because like if you use a piece of software and just like it has these like what feels like arbitrary breakages, right? You start to deal with it in a different way and not trust it as much. And I think it reminds me of back in college, we read this book. I went back and found it recently. I can't remember what the title is, but the punchline is that we relate to technology as if it's human, right?
Yeah.
Relate to the TV as if it's human or to
you feel betrayed
software. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's really powerful psychologically. Like, right. The software is being stupid or it's being like whatever. It's just a thing. It doesn't have any feelings or intentions. It's
totally
how it feels.
Yeah, people do. People feel betrayed. People feel like it's stupid. People feel like it's getting in my way. Right. It's intentionally trying to stop me from doing this thing that I'm trying to do.
Yeah. It's called the media equation. That's what it's called. The book. The title of the book.
Okay.
The media equation. It's fun.
Yeah.
On
your mind today, this morning.
Yeah. Well, for one thing is like yesterday I really screwed up. I got like I got so stressed. Like anxious. Like Wednesday is my no meetings day. And there's some stuff around community, like figuring out what that should look like that I've been wanting to get to. Like we had the thing Monday where I was like starting to feel sick and kind of like, all right, so I have to, crash. And then Tuesday I had these one-on-ones with everybody and a bunch of meetings and ended up having like no time. And then like one of the design agencies quit on us because they didn't want to work the way that we wanted to work. And it kind of got to me a little bit.
Yeah.
And all that. And then, so Wednesday was like, today I'm going to really get to it.
Get it right. Yeah.
But I've also been like sleeping a little too, not quite enough. And this day, like Wednesday, I slept till 6. I was like, yay. And I've also been working out a little too little. And like I did something with my lower back the other day during Pathfinder, and then like needing to get into my morning evening routine a little bit for my sleep, because my mind would just be racing with like ideas and creating and solving all these things.
Yeah.
There's
so much going on.
Yeah. Long story short, I was doing really great. Went to do one of the BBA yogas and then got up and something happened where I snapped. Like it was just the pressure was like too much. It was just like one thing too much of someone asking or saying something. And I just like got really irritated and like went out of the house, went to my office, but it was like in that energy for like way too long. And it like I had a haircut yesterday afternoon. I completely forgot it. And just like 10 minutes in after I was supposed to be there, I was like, shit, I forgot. And then like couldn't get it done. But it took me too long to realize there's no need to stress over any of the shit, right? Everybody's working for me. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm working for everybody else, right? Because everybody's like pinging me and wanting feedback on this and feedback on that. And I want them to ask me for feedback.
Right. That's not the problem. Right. Yeah.
Otherwise, they just run off and do shit that I don't want and I'm paying for. I'm like, no, know. So, but then I feel this like obligation to be there and respond and be really good. And I have this like, it's kind of like riding that edge of like, this is how much I can handle. And then like yesterday, it got past that. Right. Yeah. And I don't want to have an edge of this is how much I can handle. Right. Mm-hmm. Because like that mind, whatever that belief is that says, I need to get to this. I need to respond to this, whether it's a Slack message or an email or an iMessage or whatever it is, like that I want to like question those thoughts and get behind that. But it was not good. And I snapped at my wife and it was our fucking anniversary. And like, it was not good. And I didn't snap at her once. I snapped at her like twice. And then like everything I said after that, she just interpreted it as me snapping.
Right, yeah, you're in the hole at that point.
It feels so bad.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Like two things, like you were like seeing all these signs of like, I'm getting there, like whatever. So like what is that? Like how to pull back away from that and be like, I'm taking a break now. Like I'm going to walk away for a bit. And also like how, like, cause I think you're right there. It doesn't have to be an edge. Like there's only ever the next thing that you're working on, right? Like it's either going to be this thing or that. I have this happen too. Like I said I was going to get to this today, but all this is happening instead. And which one do I do? And I can only do one of them. Like which is the highest priority, just do the next thing and then the next thing. And they'll look, it's dinner time. Gonna go now,
Exactly. And if it was like, there's something with your son and your son needed you or something urgently or whatever, like none of this shit would matter. Right. You just immediately jump on and just like, this can wait. Right. And just having that mindset around it, like all of this stuff, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right.
It's just the thing. Like it's the next thing. It's the thing that we choose to do with our lives. It's important. It's not that it's not important. Like I think sometimes that's where I get a little tangled up is like, it's our software runs people's livelihoods, right? So it's very important, but it's not urgent. Like it can wait a day, whatever it is, wait a day. Nobody's going to die.
Exactly. Right. And like, and business is a game to some level, right? Health is what matters. Love is what matters. Our connection with ourselves is what matters. But the work is just something that we do. Like play a game. Like it really is a game, like playing Monopoly, right? Like like I do this and you give me these chips that like whatever we have like vested all this meaning to and all this value to of like these, like it's not even a dollar bill anymore, right? It's like literally numbers in a computer somewhere that dictates whether you can have that house or not, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's crazy when you think about it.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, like that's what we've made that so important. Like what it dictates, not even whether you can have that house or not, whether you can buy this food or not, right? It's like it's crazy. Yeah,
it is crazy.
I was talking to Joe last night, other founder, Dear Doc company.
Yeah,
it's not phenomenal. But I was talking about one of my favorite books, The Autobiography of a Yogi. Have you come across that? Have you read it? Have you heard me talk about it?
I haven't heard you talk about it. I feel like, is it an older book? Like, did I read that in college?
Yeah, totally. Okay.
Yeah, I think maybe I did. It's been
and the author's dead. His name is Paramahansa Yogananda. So he was like real living human, born in India, like guru, if you will, and moved to America and started something called the Self-Realization Fellowship. There's one in Encinitas. There's one in LA. I've spent a fair bit of time around Encinitas and the one there. In Encinitas, there is a cafe called Swami Cafe after him. And the fellowship. So it's a great book. It was supposedly the only book that was on Steve Jobs' iPad when he died, and it was a book that, if memory serves me correctly, it's in the biography, Walter Isaacson's biography about him.
Okay.
It was a book that Steve Jobs would reread every other year or so. It's fascinating because it's the actual true story of this guy's life, and lots of amazing stories in it. But one of my favorite ones is this guy Mukunda, which honestly I can't remember if that's just a nickname for the main guy or if it's another person, because like I listened to it on audiobook and there's so many names and stuff coming around, I can't keep track of it.
Yeah,
that doesn't matter. I get the gist of it is that this guy is like worried that if he arrives at the monastery too late and the doors are closed and he can't get in and he can't get food, and then he's gonna die. And his guru says, look, you're being an idiot. Like, it's not up to you whether you live or not. It's up to God. If God wants you to live, then he'll make you live, whether or not you get in at night and there's rice or whatever. And if God doesn't want you to live, you can eat as much rice as you want, but like, you'll die some way. Maybe your digestion doesn't work, or like, it's like there's so many other pieces to the puzzle here that you're not in control of, and just like let it go. And to me, that's a huge thing as well. Like I've had these recurring, I wouldn't call them nightmares, but like waking up in the middle of the night, like racing, anxious about money. Like, it's a lot. I have like, money coming in and money coming out, and there's a lot of mouths to feed. Right. And it's a lot like, I pretty much invest everything back into the business. I do invest everything back into the business, and some of these things work out and some of them don't work out. And it's like that, like shit, like
a lot of,
how are we doing? And like, what if, and plus for me, I think there's a lot of, or at least has been a lot of worthiness tied up into it. Not to so much to how much money do I have, but how good am I at managing it and playing the game. And it's not my strength. Like I've never not ever not paid a bill.
Right.
There's only one time that I didn't pay a bill on time. It was because startup that I did with some other people, and like whatever, that company ran out of money, and then but that's the only time in my entire life that I've ever not paid a bill on time.
Yeah.
But there's still this like money management is not my jam really, right? Like that's other people have that skill set, not me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for me, like when I have that middle of the night thing of just remembering, like, because it gets so deep, like, will I have food to eat? Like, will everybody hate me? Will like I'm a terrible person? Like all that stuff, right? And like just surrendering it to God, right? If God wants me to live and wants this company to work out and wants me to have money, then he will see to it that happens. And it's not like it's up to me to do everything I can and do my best and do my work, but then you can only control so much, and just let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 thoughts about that. One is, totally let it go. Like worrying about it's not gonna make it better, right? Like you may have to do some tasks or whatever, but like laying up at night worrying about it never gets any better. But also, like, I would challenge that thought a little bit about other people have that skill set, right? Like it's not rocket science,
No.
right? Like plus, minus, investments, like return. Like you have that skill set.
I hear you. Yeah. I think the reason I say that is like, A, it's not an interest of mine, right? And
that's different.
And my way of thinking about it is different too. So when I had Pete here earlier this year, as chief of staff, right, it was one of the things I'm like, okay, we need to hire this person and do this and do that. And he'd be like, we can't afford it. I'm like, we can totally afford it. Like, A, we have the cash in the bank. B, like we hire this person, they're going to give us a return, and that's going to pay. Like that person's going to pay for themselves. Or if they don't, like we are not keeping them.
Right.
And so it's that like, well, we're investing to grow. And he was like, well, we have this box. I'm like, it's like, there's a mindset issue. But the other reason I'm saying it is the fingerprint analysis thing, right? I have the what is it? The manifestation. I've got the vision. But what I don't have is the right middle finger, which is integrity and money and that kind of stuff. And integrity just in the sense of like what I tend to do is charge too much or charge too little, like give too much or give too little, like finding that right spot. I'm not like, according to my fingers and my practice, my experience, not my strength.
Yeah, got it.
Fine, okay. Right? You find someone else who does that well.
Yeah, that's interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah. I was watching some more Gary Vee this morning. I've just been on a I've been
on a Gary Vee kick.
I know, right. I like the guy. I really do. Right. It's funny because like I've literally been, consuming his stuff since 2008. Right, was the year that I started getting.
Okay. Yeah.
2008. I started to follow him. 2010, I had dinner with him one-on-one.
Okay.
So I've known this guy.
I gotta.
Oh,
I think it's my septic people calling me. Can I pause?
Yeah, of course.
For a second. Okay.
Totally. Absolutely. Let's see. Septic people calling. Yeah. So, what are we gonna talk about while it's happening? If there's a chat thing, I don't know if you guys can chat here and ask me questions, but if you want to, you are very welcome to. Let me see if I can find the thing that I was watching this morning. Yeah, on the 4Ds. I can also tell this story here, but then I'm going to have to tell it again to Beth when she comes back. Let's see. Yeah. All right. There we go.
I love
it. Where are we at with it?
Well, they were lost. Now they're finding us. So hopefully my partner can handle it and we can keep talking.
Okay. All right. We'll
so keep going. Yeah.
Well, I have to run in like 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, they were lost and now they're found. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was watching some more Gary Vee this morning. Yeah, I was saying like we had dinner in 2010 and I've just been following him for forever and ever, but I've never actually really put it into practice. Right? He's talked about this shit forever and I haven't done it. Like it's kind of crazy to think about, right? Like I haven't. But he was, so in this one, it was like a 4Ds from 2019 and just hammering on this again. But one of the things about really, let me see here, I'll post the link in the comments here, about really, really creating content just purely with no intent to sell whatsoever, right? It's just pure value, pure brand building. Like the only thing that you want is to have brand equity that people are I guess feel good about you because you have given them this value.
Yeah.
And I really believe in that. And there's someone who was talking about, personal brand versus company brand, like which to do. And that was a conversation that you and I had. And I think the answer is to do both. The answer is to do both, right? And there's like, we can post the same content to both my personal brand pages and to Simplero brand pages. And depending on what it is, like some things would clearly go on personal brand, right? And when team members post stuff, it would clearly go on the company brand. And there might be some differences in what we choose to post where, but we should 100% just do both and post to both.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. It makes a lot of sense. And that's one of those questions that's like, we could spend an hour debating it, or we could just post it to both and see how it works out.
Exactly, right. Exactly.
Modify it later if we decide it's not working great.
Yeah. And one thing that he mentioned too was about VaynerMedia. Like VaynerMedia also has their own social media, but he was like, he deliberately wanted the other agencies out there, the big agencies, to underestimate them. So they went less hard on the official VaynerMedia one and like more and harder on his personal brand, so that they wouldn't take them too seriously, because if they had wanted to, they could easily have put them out of business by just finding every single employee working there and saying, hey, we'll triple your salary if you come work for us, right? And you would be screwed.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. And I think there's a similar play here, honestly, because like we're gonna sneak up on the active campaigns and the HubSpots and all of those players of the world, right, who are currently like not at all interested in us,
right?
But we don't want them to pay too close attention to us, because we want to grow while they're looking the other way.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
So
sounds super fun.
Yeah. The other thing, realization I had was about just this conversation about, so this conversation about personal growth for entrepreneurship. Like I've had so many of these conversations with people, and like they are always like, whoa, this conversation went super deep. Like they're not used to having these like intense, deep personal growth conversations with other entrepreneurs, with other founders.
Yeah.
And to me, it's normal, right? Like it's what I do. So I'm like, no, I love it. Like this is like every conversation that I end up going this way pretty much, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely one-on-one. And so I think there's something really, and they love it. People are so into it, but it's not a conversation that people normally have. So I really think that conversation is going to really fucking resonate. And I think it's going to put us on the map in a way that, in a big way, because I think there is a gap in the marketplace there where everybody's like talking strategies and tactics and this, that, and the other, and like this is what matters, right? This is what makes the fucking difference. This is what tactics or strategies are good, but the inner stuff is what makes them work, right? And what makes you do them, and which makes you do them in the right way from the right place inside. So like, and makes you just even like be able to see them and take them in and all that, right? Just like I wasn't ready to do the Gary Vee thing until like now, 14 years later, right? Like I mean, I wasn't.
Right.
So I think that's really powerful. Yeah. And then I think again, when we talk about personal brand versus company brand, I think we talked about three sort of pillars or three legs of the stool. The spiritual teacher, the inner growth work, all that stuff. We talked about like maverick kind of persona or attitude, free thinker, whatever, counterculture, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And then we talked about simple systems, simple, effective systems. Yep. And I think the first two lean themselves more to the personal brand side. Not that they're not also part of the company brand, but that they lean heavier there, whereas the simple systems lean heavier on the Simplero side.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're both. All three of them are definitely both.
Right.
But yeah, I can see what you mean in terms of where they lead. And the reason why I say that is I think there's a place in the marketplace for talking about personal growth and beyond tactics and strategies, but there's also a place in the marketplace for entrepreneurs who want to be or who are grounded in that personal growth stuff and looking to find their home in a way that feels connected to them. Like there's a huge need for that. So I think it's both. But yeah.
Say more about that.
In the universe I swim in, like, there are a lot of people who are looking to do online business, to automate something about their business or to do online business, but who want to do it in a way that's in integrity with their values and that is connected to a higher purpose or to personal growth stuff. They don't want to give their money to a big soulless, faceless company. They want to give their money to a company that they feel connected to and that they feel seen by. And I think if we do that currently as we scale, if we can keep doing that, then that is going to be a huge competitive advantage for us.
Yeah. No, yeah, totally. Yeah. I think what I'm thinking, I 100% agree. I think what I had in mind is more like if we do content that's like very, like here's some simple systems that you can do, or like that kind of stuff, I would post that just more on the simpler side of things. I think it depends on what it is, but that's right, like high level thinking. You know, my brain, like I'll think these things high level, and then you get into the nitty gritty, and it doesn't make any sense. And
totally,
and that's totally fine. Yeah. But that was my thinking, and then and we totally like do like I'm gonna be me posting on like either place, and like me, I'm just gonna be who I am. Yeah. Hey, a question I had was, so I can get these founders to join for a conversation like this easily to create the content, right, that we are then going to cut up and all that stuff. What makes, I think, like having one weekly show is like way too limited, right? Because I can have these conversations all day long, and I love it, and I can get these founders on all day long, right? I can like all the boardroom people, all the war room people, all our members, all our trusted advisors, all of there's so many people that I know that are awesome, and that would be great to have these conversations with. Does it matter? Should we does the timing matter? Does the live stream component of it matter? Does it is it just schedule it in the calendar and record it and put it out, or just schedule it in the calendar and live stream it and record it and put it out? Or should we have this every morning at 9 we go live and we train people at a specific cadence? And now, so when I book someone, it's either the Thursday 1 p.m. slot for I call this Unfiltered the check-in, and then the Thursday is Unfiltered the show. Yeah,
that's nice.
Sure. What are your thoughts on that?
So my thoughts on that would be, we want to primarily bring them to the Thursday at 1 p.m. thing so that we have a consistent source of that and people come to expect it and resonate with it. If that's not a good time, or if we've got too many people who are all interested at the same time, then having them come at this time, the 9 a.m. or 9:30, whatever we decide for the check-in time, is a great idea. And if that doesn't work, or we've got so many people, then just schedule them on your calendar and have the conversation, record it.
Got it. We can also do where the 9 o'clock thing here is just, this is our check-in. And we're not really, I mean, we can invite someone on and just hey, what do you think about this? But I'd like to go, I mean, I would go over, I have to bounce now, but I would go over the new designs for the community, the community features, the app and that kind of stuff. Let's get into that kind of stuff as well. Why not? Right?
Yeah, totally. And I don't want to lose, I mean, you and I've gotten a lot of productive work done in these check-ins, and I don't want to lose that.
Totally. So let's do those check-ins as our check-ins, and we're just opening the kimono on that. And let's start by just scheduling people for the Thursday thing, scheduling some guests. But I want to, so for the Thursday thing, the most important thing for me is to do live Q&A. So I almost don't want to have guests there. Because if I bring a guest on for even if it's 10, 20 minutes, whatever, I guess we can say goodbye to them. but then like maybe people want to ask them questions as well. And I like,
when we talked about it the first time,
I want to do like, I love the Q&A so much myself that I really want to like have that also. So I kind of want to show where it's just me doing the Q&A. So maybe the guest thing is a different thing. I'm not sure. We'll do the first one this afternoon and see how it goes. I'm a guest there. So
I guess let's see how it goes. I mean, I could see it being really nice to have you and the guest have a conversation and then Q&A for you and the guest, and it turns into whatever it turns into. But it gives some
both, right?
For people. Yeah.
Let's try a couple of times of each and then just see how we'll just roll with it, see how it works and then adjust. But I think we'll very, very quickly end up having multiple per week.
Great.
Like I like once we get into it and once we have that distribution machine, and I see the content out there and it's good content that I'm proud of and I get that feedback from people, I'm gonna be addicted. I'm gonna want to do more and more, right?
That's great. Yeah, that's great. Like let's get it rolling. Let's get something figured out and get all the machine in place. Like, we build machines, right? Let's get the machine in place and then we can add more. So,
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
All right. Fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you. This has been fun as always.
Yes. Thank you. And I'm glad we figured out the whole broadcast thing. Like, you need to click the damn button.
It does. Yeah, that's good.
All the way up there on the right and doesn't make super. Yeah, it's good. It's all good. And I don't know if it's recording. I think it's supposed to record, but I don't know if there's a specific button I had to click to get it to record. And there's no thing that says it's recording. So
it doesn't say that it's recording.
If it was,
I hope it is.
Yeah, I recorded like my side over here on Ecamm just in case.
Good.
But I don't know, but then that only has me, which is kind of weird.
Because I'm talking, right?
Right. Yeah, and then you see me like just sitting there staring while I'm listening to you, right? Like.
We can chop it up into bits. We'll cut those parts out.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you. Have a great day. Good luck with the sewer or the septic tank or whatever it is.
I'm going to let that do whatever it does. All right. Thanks, Calvin.
All right. Thank you, Beth.
Yeah.
Bye.